Hey, it's Paul with LSP Data, where we help you find your next off-market deal. And today we're going to cover Atlanta code violations and how we're using AI to help you, again, identify distressed properties. So think of when you're driving for dollars, that type of use case, right? So before we get started, as always, I'll remind you that we have a free school community. Joining for free, come and discuss any real estate topics, prop tech, or just ask us any questions about data in general. But yeah, let's get started. So let's one thing I wanted to remind you is that we provide daily code violations for about 90 cities nationwide. In this case, we're focusing on Atlanta, Georgia. And historically, you've been able to sort of search for specific violation types or complaint types. And as you can see, today's November the 18th. So our data is really up to date and it refreshes on a daily or weekly basis, right? So what is the difference? So what's new, right? So this AI indicator, we've just implemented this. And basically what we've done is that we've prompted the AI to read a lot of the complaint or violation descriptions. So it makes it a lot easier for you to identify, distress factors, right? So if you were to come in here and you were to, let's say, search, vacant, hit apply. And again, you can search each one of those distress factors, apply all of them, right? But here, if you search for vacant, we'll get things like, there's a vacant lot here, right? Vacant lot, overgrown vacant lot, vacant property, etc., right? So basically flagging properties that are vacant, right? And again, a lot of them have been reported in the last few days, right? Same thing for, let's say, probate, right? So this is probably a very interesting one because, obviously here, again, this talks about there's legal drug usage, a person that recently died. There's basically, the property owner has passed away, right? So for many of you that you focus on probate situations, right? Obviously, you know how to handle with care. That presents an opportunity to many of you, right? And again, this data is not accessible in any other platforms, and we've done our best to sort of consolidate a lot of information for the purpose of real estate properties, right, and distressed properties. And again, we provide all the relevant information here that you need to easily export it and then skip trace it or do mailers, right? Whatever your marketing channels are. But basically, I'll show you an example in a little bit, but basically here, I don't want to show the individual names, but you'll get their name and their mailing address as well, right? So let's sort of jump into a real world use case here. So many of you may browse through Zillow, right? Whether you're doing wholesaling or something else, right? So here I was sort of browsing through Zillow in Atlanta. I came across this property. Based on how it looks like, to me, this is a bit of a refurbish, right, property based on the flooring and the colors here. But let's say, we know this property is being, listed, right, for $249,000. So if you found maybe you're not having any luck, or maybe you want to focus on a specific zip code like this one, right? This gives you an idea that on this zip code, a property with 3 beds, 2 baths is selling for $249. It looks like there was a price cut, but basically what I'm saying is that you can come into the platform, just log in. Let's say you have a specific zip code in mind, right? So in this case, we'll grab that 30311. We'll search for that. There's about 1,600 records, right, for the specific zip code. From here, let's say you're looking for things that are vacant or probate, right? You could select the stress factors, etc., right? The search. Let's say you're only interested in, residential properties. So you can select the property type, as well as, let's say you're only interested in individuals. So you don't want to reach out to LLCs, corps, trusts, that sort of thing, right? So here you've pretty much filtered down quite a bit, right? And the ownership can be absent to your primary residence. I always advise to just leave both do both absentee and primary residence because, as you know, for some of the probates, the individual that has passed away still shows up as the owner. So for a lot of platforms, whether you use PropStream or other platforms that your favorite YouTuber tells you to, unfortunately, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities because everyone tells you to target primary residence. So, absentee owners. So anyways, you have this list, you come down here and you can see that yesterday there was unsafe and habitable condition, there's vacant properties and whatnot, right? So again, this can present an opportunity for you, right? So let's do unsafe and habitable condition. Let's do a couple of them just so you can see. Perhaps let's pull up this property and let's see how where it is in Google Maps, right? So this property that shows up in Zillow is in this location, right? Let's grab a few of them that may be around that same location. So this is one that showed up on our platform, right? So if we were to look it up in Zillow, just want to see that it's a comparable, right? So as you're doing comps and whatnot, right? So this is 9 beds, 4 baths, 3,000 square foot, right? This recently sold actually last year, right? Still consider off market, but let's grab another one that may be a bit more comparable. So let's grab this one. So it's 3 beds, 1 bath, similar, right? It looks not in great shape. It looks like it's 209, but basically, if we were to search for that one, right? Let's see how far they are from each other. They're quite close to each other, right? Again, 1,158. The ones that's listed, we don't know, right? 3 beds, 1 bath. This is 2 baths and whatnot, right? So anyways, all that to say is that if you have a specific zip code, you can search for that. Again, all of the ones in our platform are primarily off-market properties, right? But you have that sort of intimate knowledge on what's going on with the property. So let's say here, you were satisfied with this list, or maybe you just want to do, let's say you just want to do probate. Let's see if there's any probates actually. Oh, there are 2 probates. This person passed away, right? And let's say you just were doing distress as well. So this is as simple as doing export, and you can either export to CSV or Excel. And again, we made it easy for you to just export it and then skip trace it if you need, right? I'm not going to show again their names, but basically you'll be able to, again, it has the information that you need to do skip tracing, and it also has information about the property itself, right? So that's a quick use case on how you can come in on a daily basis, weekly, enter whatever the stress factors you're interested in and specific property types, right? And the other thing too, so you can also do free text, right? So if you have a specific search criteria, you can also search for that, right? So I don't know if you wanted to type some, for example, mold. This apartment has mold, right? So a lot of times, not only do neighbors sort of raise this type of complaints that end up turning into code violations, there are existing code violations, but the tenants themselves may call to complain about the conditions of the property, right? So if I even type collapse, right? So if we type collapse, broken, missing windows, glass, premise covered with high weeds, etc., right? So the roof caved in, right? You wouldn't be able to see that from the outside visually, right? In this case, it looks like maybe a duplex, right? So it's not like you're driving and you can see that the roof has collapsed, right? There is a lot of interesting situations. And again, since you have this insights, when you call the property owner, you know what's going on to this particular property, right? So if the property owner tells you that the property is in perfect shape, etc., then you know that's probably a lie. And again, this may help you in determining, ARV or other types of comps, right? So again, pretty easy to access this. Wanted to show you a bit of the tech stack. So I mentioned this is a new feature, this AI indicator. So again, the point is to help you identify this type of distressed properties. How are we doing it? Well, we're leveraging our local LLM models using open source models from Hugging Face, which if you have a beefy, powerful computer or server, you can probably maybe do it yourself if you're a techie or real estate enthusiast. And basically we're identifying these properties with one prompt, right? So we're asking the agent to read the complaint or code violation description, and basically identify anything that's considered a vacant, like a vacant property, a probate when a person has passed away, and exclude anything related to pets, possums, squirrels, etc., right? And essentially, with as we're getting better with the AI model, is getting better confidence, right? So this should only get better in the future, but at the moment it does a really great job in helping you zero in into those opportunities, right? So again, to our knowledge, no one's doing this. Again, we're data experts. We love data, and we like putting niche data together to help you close deals. And if you have any questions, let us know. Obviously, you can sign up for our code violations platform. You can either sign up for a state subscription. So in this case, so if you wanted to subscribe to Georgia, or you can subscribe to a specific city, right? We have a couple of cities. If you get the state subscription, you get access to all of those cities and any new city that we add, right? The entire state subscription is $59 a month. If you type LSP data, you get a 7-day free trial. Same thing when it comes to specific cities. So right now we're looking at Atlanta. So if you want to subscribe to Atlanta, $19.99 a month. Again, 7-day free trial by entering LSP data. And if you just have any questions, or if you want to see a more in-depth demo, you can request a demo call, or we can also do consultations for your real estate business. So I'll leave it at that, but I wanted to show you some of the cool technology that we're implementing to help you come in and within a few seconds, get a meaningful list to pull of leads, and just focus on targeting, marketing, and closing deals. So thanks for watching.